How would you like a 15% discount to my daily email, the stack of stuff, the show notes, discounts to the conference, all of that? All you need to do is text the word show to 33777. You'll get the annual subscription with a 15% discount to my daily email. You'll get the stack of stuff, the links to the show notes, discounts to the conference, and so much more. All you have to do is text the word show, SHOW, to 33777. Text show to 33777.
Welcome to the Eric Erickson Show podcast, Hour 2.
My fellow Americans, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number is 877-973-7425. If you text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777, you can get the show notes, the live stream, the podcast, the social media links, everything you need. And I do, for the record, wish you all to know that I did not blow myself up trying to fix my pizza oven. I didn't get it fixed, but I did figure out how to take the burner out and clean it. I still got a problem. They're going to work me through it. We will see. God bless Fontana, California. The poor folks in South Carolina, they have no idea how absolutely worthless I am when it comes to fixing stuff. I got some volunteers, though, if I can't do it. Now, I need to talk about a story from San Francisco. You may have heard about this. There was a viral video of a woman who was at San Francisco International Airport on Sunday night. Now, pause. ICE agents did not show up at airports until Monday to assist with the shutdown. And in fact, you should know that the times, well, they've decreased, but they're still not fantastic at a lot of airports. In fact, this morning, it was 3 hours at Houston International Airport, George Bush Airport in Houston. Bill Barr, the former attorney general, was caught in that line. But if you think that 3 hour line is bad, they had been 5 hours. In Atlanta, the lines are moving quicker. San Francisco International Airport is not an airport where ICE has gone to assist because San Francisco International Airport has privatized TSA and is not having long lines. But on Sunday, ICE officials showed up and detained a woman and her 9-year-old daughter. Let me read you the New York Times story. The woman and her 9-year-old daughter were walking through Terminal 3 at San Francisco International Airport on Sunday night, headed to their gate to fly to Miami to visit a relative, when a stranger in plain clothes approached. "Angelina," he asked. "Sí," she responded. Minutes later, Angelina Lopez Jimenez was on her knees crying as two immigration agents were handcuffing her in front of her daughter, according to video footage that went viral this week. Government documents obtained by the New York Times explain the events leading up to the tense scene, including the exchange between the agent and Ms. Lopez Jimenez. What I need you to know is that on Monday, reporters across America were screaming that this was because of Donald Trump sending the ICE agents to help TSA, which was not true. And anyone who said it was not true was telling the truth, and anyone who says it was lying. The ICE agents aren't going to SFO because SFO is not having backups. The SFO, TSA, is privatized. What is happening, however, is Transportation Security Administration officials are sharing with ICE agents the names and birthdays of travelers believed to have been ordered out of the country by a judge. It's made it easier to round up illegal aliens. And guess what? Let me read for you this, buried down in the New York Times report. Ms. Lopez Jimenez, 41, a native of Guatemala, and her daughter, Wendy Godinez Lopez, were flagged by TSA officials on Friday when they showed up on a passenger list for a Sunday flight from San Francisco to Miami. The agency tipped off ICE. Ms. Lopez Jimenez and her daughter were living in Contra Costa County, California, on the eastern edge of the San Francisco Bay Area, according to the congressman for that region, John Garamendi. She has no criminal history, though she entered the country illegally. Now, let's see. We get here, and then we get here, then we get here, then we get, let's see, here, and here. Oh, okay, so hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 paragraphs. 14 paragraphs into the story, we learn that on May 8th, 2019, an immigration judge ordered Ms. Lopez Jimenez to be deported. She did not show up for her immigration hearing. She was ordered deported at 9:30 p.m. on Sunday night in 2026. The two ICE agents, knowing she intended to go to Miami, found her and deported her. She was carrying 2 Guatemalan passports and handed them over to the agent. The information matched the identity of the woman ordered to be deported in 2019. She then tried to run away, and the agents handcuffed her. You have to go almost 20 paragraphs into the story at the New York Times to know that she tried to flee the agents. Heather Knight is one of the reporters for the New York Times. She's the San Francisco bureau chief. Let me read you the tweet that she pushed out. A viral video showed ICE agents detaining a woman at SFO on Sunday night. Documents obtained by the New York Times show TSA officials scanning passenger lists, tipped off ICE she was planning to fly to Miami. The woman has no criminal history. What she left out of the tweet is that she had been ordered deported. Also, it actually is a crime to come into the United States illegally. This is the San Francisco bureau chief for the New York Times, who willfully leaves out 2 key details. One, it actually is a crime to come into the United States. It's misdemeanor the first time, but it's still a crime. A misdemeanor is a crime. 2, she leaves out that this woman had been ordered deported. So she was ordered deported. She came into the country illegally. She stayed. And she got caught. The press rushed to blame Donald Trump sending ICE agents to airports. This has nothing to do with ICE agents going to airports. The problem is the press can't be honest, and neither can the Democrats. And also, can I just say, Republicans, friends, can someone from the Trump administration, can I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen of the GOP, we have had an illegal alien murder an 18-year-old American citizen in Chicago in the last week, and that illegal alien had a criminal record and was protected by the sanctuary policies of Chicago and Illinois. Where is the ad campaign? Where is the ad campaign? We have ICE agents showing up at airports with water bottles helping people go through security. People are being interviewed by the media saying, oh, I thought these were bad guys. They helped us with our luggage. In one case, a woman was interviewed. She says, he stood in line for me because the line was so long and I needed to go to the bathroom. That was an ICE agent taking a woman's place in line so she could go to the bathroom. Where is the ad campaign? We have illegal aliens murdering more Americans, and the Democrats want to defund ICE. Where is the ad campaign? Where is every single Republican senator, John Thune, standing before the camera, repeating after me, Democrats want American borders unsecured or airports unsecured, and they're telling us to pick, and we say we want security everywhere. Democrats are telling us we have to stop the deportations of illegal aliens in order to get you through an airport, and we refuse to go along with it. Where are the Republicans out there aggressively making the case? Republicans seem to be scared of their own shadow right now. They're nowhere to be seen. The Speaker of the House is about the only one to stand up and make the point. We literally had another American young woman murdered by another illegal alien who was protected by sanctuary city policies, and the Republicans are nowhere to be seen on this issue. It's like they're afraid they're going to be asked about Donald Trump's mean tweets. You show up, and when they ask you about Donald Trump's mean tweets, you say, ask the president. I'm here to talk about this issue. And when they say, but do you stand? Well, ask the president. I'm here to talk about this issue. I'm here to talk about the Democrats are more interested in protecting illegal aliens than they are American citizens. I'm here to talk about how Democrats call them undocumented Americans. I'm here to talk about how Democrats say they are the people they care about. Oh, you don't believe me saying that? Well, here, let me play for you Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, who went on with Rachel Maddow's sister on MSNBC and had this to say.
The negotiation didn't have a path to citizenship. It was entirely on their terms in order to get Ukraine funding, right?
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So you are right that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. And it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
The people we care about the most, the undocumented Americans. Republicans, how have you not clipped that? The people we care about the most, the undocumented Americans in this country, and put it on every television network and web stream in America. How have you not done that? You've had 48 hours. Are the political consultants not making enough money off the web ads? Are the political consultants not making money? Because, my God, I get text messages every single day from them wanting me to click a survey and take a survey, and they can't send me. You know, you can send that video by text, Republicans. You can push out the Chris Murphy clip by text to people. You got all of our cell phone numbers. You're spamming us with fundraising emails. Why don't you take some of the money you've already raised and push out the Chris Murphy clip to every cell phone in America and say, Democrats are keeping your airports inconvenient so that they can protect the people they care about the most, undocumented Americans. That's their phrase. The Democrats are okay with American citizens being murdered so long as illegal aliens are not deported. Where is the Republican ad campaign? Where are the Republican members of the legislature? Where are the Republican congressmen? Where are the people from the White House? Where is the president on this issue? He's about the only one who's brought up the young woman in Chicago being murdered by the illegal alien. Where are the Republican consultants on this? Where are the Republican campaign teams on this? What the hell are you people doing? I mean, it's not like you can open the government. You don't have the votes from the Democrats. You should be barnstorming the nation, pointing out the Democrats on television say the people they care about are the illegal aliens. More dead Americans. You had one Democrat the other day came out and said she regretted voting for the Laken Riley Act, which forces the deportation of criminal illegal aliens. She actually came out and said she was upset she voted for a common sense piece of legislation supported by 85% of Americans because the progressive base is mad. Make the Democrats own this stuff. This woman in San Francisco had been ordered deported and she tried to flee. They rounded her up and they deported her. There's nothing wrong with that. Americans support that. Stop being scared scared of Democratic talking points. Americans do support deportations. You got rid of Kristi Noem. You got rid of Greg Bovino. You brought in Mark Wayne Mullen. You brought back Tom Homan. They are competent. They're nice. They're able. They're accessible. They're willing to explain it. You've got ICE agents standing in line for women so they can go to the bathroom at the airport, realizing these aren't scary, spooky people. Where's the ad campaign attacking the Democrats for their position on illegal immigration? If they were the ones who were on offense against you, they'd be doing it. And somehow you are scared of your shadows, Republicans, when it's the Democrats who have shut down the airports. Take them on. Use Chris Murphy's words against them. Greetings and welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Interestingly enough, the Argentinian Navy has sunk a Chinese fishing vessel. Have y'all heard about these? China has this massive fleet of fishing vessels that show up in the territorial waters of South American countries and take all the fish. They drop nets down to the ocean floor and pull up all the fish, and they are over-harvesting essentially to make the South American countries dependent on a fish supply that is imported from China. The Chinese take the fish back to China and then resell it to the South American countries for a higher price. Argentina's had enough. They've started sinking the ships. Good for Javier Milei for doing this. Javier Milei is just a gem of an official. You know, he got a big win in the Argentinian legislature. He is a free marketeer. Argentina, put it to you this way, Argentina right now, its economic track record is better than the United States. Argentina is more free market than the United States right now. He has gotten rid of government ownership of Argentinian companies, where our government has taken control of American private companies through shares. He has canceled all the tariffs in Argentina, where we have been imposing tariffs on our country. And guess what? He's gotten his inflation rate down as ours has continued to go up. It's just wild to see this situation happening. Now, I got to tell you about Perfectly Snug. I've gotten some questions from some of you people about Perfectly Snug. If you go to perfectlysnug.com/Eric, what is it? It's a mattress topper. Why would I advertise it? Because I love it. I'm a customer of Perfectly Snug and said I need to advertise you guys on my radio program. Oprah apparently loves them as well. Perfectly Snug it's a mattress topper, and unlike some that use like water that flows through it or has like these giant air conditioner sorts of things you attach to it, it's got fans and it can heat up and cool down. And it's like having, instead of an electric blanket, it's an electric mattress topper that warms and cools. It tracks you as you sleep, so you never get too cold, you never get too hot. You sleep soundly, and I love this thing. So we've got it on our bed at home. It's king size, the one we have, and it just works. In fact, it's zoned, so I can have mine on, and Christy doesn't have to have it, although we both love it. It comes in so handy. It cools you down. It heats you up. You can control it from your phone. You can set it on a schedule. You go to perfectlysnug.com/Eric. You save up to, I think, $280 on it. It's a phenomenal product. I was skeptical, and now I'm not. I'm a believer. Perfectlysnug.com/Eric. Go sign up today and get one.
Craving the coffee flavor you love, but without the caffeine? Kachava's got you covered with their newest coffee flavor. This all-in-one nutrition shake delivers bold, authentic flavor, crafted from premium decaffeinated Brazilian beans. With 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, and so much more. Treat yourself to the flavor and nutrition your body craves. Go to Kachava.com and use code NEWS. New customers get 15% off their first order. That's KACHAVA.com, code NEWS.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson here, and I want to go to the phones. Corey has been waiting patiently. Welcome to the show, Corey. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Eric. I'm a regular listener. Thanks for having me on. But
Absolutely.
You know, I've been listening all week in the comments about Democrat politicians that, quote unquote, care about illegal immigrants. And I have a hard time believing that. What I truly believe, and I'm wondering if you agree with the opinion, is that what they truly care about are votes and having them be able to vote without photo ID and pretty much illegally. And that way they stay in power. And without that, maybe they don't.
Oh, listen, I absolutely think that they're carrying this opportunistic for themselves. They need their votes. They want them to become American citizens if they can, because they think they'll vote for them. Yeah, look, and let's also be clear here, Corey. They want somebody to cut their grass for cheap and pick their vegetables for cheap and take care of their grandparents for cheap. So, yeah, the caring that they have for the illegal aliens is all about transactionally what can the illegal aliens do for them and hopefully keep them in power. I mean, that is why I think people need to understand that the situation with Democrats and illegal aliens in states is that the U.S. Constitution requires that all people who are residents of a state, regardless of their citizenship status, be counted for purposes of congressional apportionment and the Electoral College. So if the Democrats flood a state with illegal aliens, they may not get to vote, but they get counted for the census, and then they get counted to shape the Electoral College and congressional apportionment. So as a state sees their citizens fleeing because of policies like California and New York, which are in population decline, they can offset them with illegal aliens who don't get to vote, but their welfare payments from the federal government go up, their apportionment in Congress goes up, so they pad their numbers with illegal aliens. In fact, there have been a couple of members of Congress on the Democratic side who in the past, around census time, have pointed out that I need everybody, including the illegal aliens, the undocumented Americans, they call them, to be counted for our power in Congress. They're very open about that. Now, I want to pivot to something. I saw this, and people are ridiculing these kids. Jesse Waters on Fox News sent a lucky young correspondent down to Miami for spring break to interview a bunch of girls in bikinis and guys on the beach about world affairs. And I want to play you the audio here from the Jesse Waters show, just a little snippet of it.
What issue facing America is the most important to you?
What bikini I'm gonna wear next? Obesity is terrible.
Ice. Not personally. I'm legal.
Getting a tan on the beach. That's the most important thing in my life right now.
I'm thinking about Starbucks, to be honest. I'm thinking about Starbucks, what I'm gonna get for today.
The elevators don't work. You got 43 floors. The elevators don't work.
I could take this little glass of water, drop it in the magnets. That's the end of the elevator.
What have you heard that Donald Trump has been doing recently?
Gulf of America. That's the last thing I kept up with.
We're going to war with Iraq. That's been crazy.
What do you do in Colombia? You got Maduro out? Oh, with Trump, but that is done.
He's like trying to sue those people for making jokes about him.
600 times!
You must be happy.
I'm very happy.
The Ayatollah's dead.
What? Who? What? What is that?
Who the is Ayatollah?
I've never heard that word in my life.
Lewis, what's Ayatollah?
Lewis, what's Ayatollah? I've never heard that word in my life. They have no clue what's going on in the world today. I received an email from a listener a short time ago. I work for a school district. I received a call from a concerned parent asking what contingency plans does the school board have in case of a nuclear explosion with what's all going on. I would suggest to you that the spring breakers who have never heard the word Ayatollah and have no idea what's happening in world affairs are in a far healthier headspace than the poor parent who called and asked what the plan is at the school board for a nuclear strike. Ladies and gentlemen, you do understand it's all going to be okay, right? The spring breakers have not a care in the world, and that's the way it should be. It makes me mad when I encounter parents who take their kids to protests. I do politics for a living. I was elected at one point. I never took my kids to political rallies. And to the extent we talk politics at home, it's my kids bringing up stuff they've heard. And oftentimes it's the other kids at school who are asking my kids about stuff. And my kids don't really know. Now, they come talk to me or they look it up. I have sitting in my office right now, having brought me coffee, my college student who keeps up more and more with the affairs of the world. My son typically is, if it's not in a video game or a movie, he doesn't know what's going on right now. And that's the way I prefer it. Life is too short for people to be worked up about what's going on in the world right now. When you get into a job and you become a productive tax-paying citizen, then you probably want to keep up on how Congress is wasting your money. My wife right now is very happy that Delta Airlines has stopped its congressional service where members of Congress get preferential treatment by Delta. She wishes they didn't have it at all, but I understand why Delta does have it because of the nature of a congressional job. You know, if you got votes late at night in Congress, they extended longer. They had to hold the votes open. You've got to stay. You're not allowed to leave. The sergeant at arms will arrest you. So Delta has a phone number where members of Congress can call. They're supposed to fly home on a Thursday night. Now they got to do Friday morning. They can call them and they can get on the flight. They prioritize them. And I get that. I think that's a responsible thing to do. Some of you will disagree. You don't understand necessarily the nature of the job and the travel arrangements that members of Congress have to go through to stay in Washington to vote and then go home. I'm okay with Delta doing that, but I'm delighted they've shut the service down right now. Make these people suffer. But you shouldn't have to know about this stuff. You shouldn't have to care about this stuff unless you're working at your job. We do a lot of research on my show. Most of the people who listen to my show, they're not avid political junkies per se. They're people who have jobs and they want to know what's going on, and they realize that a lot of people are either giving them a partisan spin or they're not telling them the full truth. And I spend way much more time than I ever expected reading news stories from left, right, and center to synthesize together what the actual truth is, because everybody's more concerned about a narrative. In fact, I'm sat down and did an interview with Alan Jackson, not the singer, the preacher in Nashville. He's got a show on TBN, and he was asking me about media bias. And I said, I don't read for pleasure anymore. I got some books that some people have written who are friends of mine that I want to read, and I hadn't had time to read them because all I do now is I read newspapers and magazine articles from the left, the right, and the center, because what you find is that every single body, left, right, and center, they have narratives they want to tell you, not the truth. And in the process of telling you the narrative, they leave out inconvenient facts. Like, for example, the New York Times writer who on Twitter talked about this woman detained by ICE at San Francisco airport who had no prior crimes. Actually, what she left out of the story is the woman actually committed a crime by coming into the country illegally and was ordered deported by a judge, and she ran away and skipped the deportation hearing and has been on the run since, and they found her. But the New York Times buried it 20 paragraphs into the New York Times story, knowing most people will never get to that point, and on Twitter never mentioned the deportation order because the narrative is more important than the truth. I think it is fantastic. We got a group of college kids in this country who don't have a care in the world. They are getting sunburned in Miami right now, enjoying themselves. Their parents probably don't want to know what they're getting up to. But they're not worried about an Ayatollah. They don't even know what an Ayatollah is. Think about the people on the left whose children live in existential fear that the end of the world is upon us because of climate change. Think about the kids in Montana who sued the government of Montana, claiming that there was an existential threat to these kids. The world was ending because of Montana's energy policies, and a judge, a progressive judge, sided with him and got thrown out on appeal. Think about the kids who live in terror because their parents have indoctrinated them into the religion of protest and progressive politics, and they have no joy in life. Think about Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg's autism manifested itself in such a way that her parents and those around her convinced her that the world is going to end within 10 years. So paranoid her that she got on a boat to sail to the United States because she did not want her carbon footprint to be magnified by a plane. She literally sailed to the United States. And notice, she's on planes now. She's on lots of boats and lots of planes. She doesn't care about her carbon footprint anymore. She's moved on to regular old communism, short bus communism. You find that girl is 30 feet over the runway. I swear to you, she may be 20 feet. The plane is you know what the Airbuses say when you get 20 feet over a runway? I kid you not. An Airbus plane, because it's French, when it wants you when you're over the runway to pull back on the throttle to make sure you've slowed the plane down, yells at you, retard, retard. Greta Thunberg is about 30 feet over the runway, and the planes are all yelling at her right now because, I mean, this girl has become just a regular short bus communist. She now, having taken a catamaran to the United States of America because of her global warming footprint, she's now chartered a plane that, by the way, she used the same airline that ICE uses to deport Americans. I kid you not. The group of champagne communists who flew down to Cuba from the United States with Greta Thunberg to scowl at the commies of Cuba, they used a charter service that ICE uses. There were probably illegal aliens having sat on Greta Thunberg's seat the week before who were being deported to Timbuktu. She didn't care. Having refused to get on planes, she decided to get on the plane to drag her little Palestinian scarf around her. And what is Greta Thunberg now doing? She is demanding that the United States of America allow the Cuban communists to do what? Burn oil. I kid you people not. That little short bus commie is down in Cuba demanding we allow the Cubans to burn oil. She wouldn't get on a plane a couple of years ago to come to the United States because she thought no one should be able to burn oil. But if you're a commie, she thinks you should be allowed to. And she flew on a plane that previously flew illegal aliens out of the country to Timbuktu for deportation purposes to tell America to burn oil. These are not smart people. I would rather your kid be a dyed, blonde-headed idiot moron on the beach in Florida who's never heard the word Ayatollah, because at least your kid will not have the psychological problems of a Greta Thunberg who thinks the world's coming to an end in 10 years but wants the commies to burn oil. Your kid is better off not knowing about politics. It would be better off if your child did not know the name of the President of the United States than to live in existential threat and terror of the President of the United States. The champagne commies went to Cuba with Greta Thunberg to scowl about the United States. Meanwhile, you've got American kids in bikinis and shorts on the beach in Miami who they don't even know what's happening in the world. We're going to be all right, people. Those are our future, not the champagne commies, the kids on the beach who don't know anything about the world. They're going to lead us, and they're going to be happier leaders. They're going to get a clue one day. They're going to get a job. They're going to pay attention. They will actually learn what an Ayatollah is, but they don't have to know about it right now. Your kids do not have to know about the world right now. Your kids do not have to live in existential terror right now that the world is going to an end. And if you are worried about a nuclear strike in the United States of America and what a school is going to do about a nuclear strike, you might need to turn off the news. God forbid, you might need to turn me off. Come back on Good Friday. I got a good show for you on Good Friday. I'm stunned by the existential dread and terror of people who are so obsessed with the news. Y'all, it's going to be okay. And you know, in the grand scheme of all things, how I know it's going to be okay, I read to the end of the book. I read to the end of the book. We're going to be fine. There's going to be a pale horse, and then there's going to be a white horse. Johnny Cash is going to be singing backup music, and the man's going to come to town. He's going to come around. He's going to take care of us. Everything is going to be fine. All things work for the good of those called according to his purpose. You're going to be fine. The kids, God bless them, they don't know who the Ayatollah is. They think we've gone to war with Iraq again instead of Iran. They don't actually know who the president of the United States is. The one girl said the last time she paid attention, Donald Trump was changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and that's it. That happened in January of last year, and she's been checked out since. She's probably the happiest and least neurotic of all the kids on the beach because she unplugged from politics. Now, I don't want you to completely unplug from politics because my ratings would go down, but at the same time, it's not healthy to be that obsessed. That's why I love you guys. I know what the data is. You come, you find out what's going on, and you go back to your life. I get the privilege of being as honest as I can with you about what's happening in the world, the truth instead of the narrative, so that you can be the most informed person in your circle of friends and live a peaceful, happy life, knowing that I got you taken care of with the news, and you can go take care of your family, you can go take care of your job, you can go take care of your life, and you don't have to sleep in terror at night thinking the world is coming to an end. That's what Greta Thunberg is for. Let her think the world is coming to an end, and then laugh at her when she approaches you. She will scowl, and it will make your heart warm like the commie oil she once burned. Vostok, Antarctica bottomed out yesterday at negative 105.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That would make it the record low temperature for March anywhere on planet Earth ever. Are you going to hear about this? Will you hear about it in the press, that we have a record low global temperature? 105.5 degrees, negative 105.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That's insane. That is so super cold. In any event, we have other stuff that we must move to. The phone number is 877-973-7425. I mentioned this yesterday, but you may have missed it, and I find it so funny. They have canceled a gubernatorial debate in California. California has a jungle primary, like Louisiana does. In a jungle primary, everybody runs together. The Republicans and the Democrats are all piled onto the ballot together. The Democrats did this because they thought it would give them an advantage in Republican areas of the state, where typically you have like 5 Republicans may pile onto the ballot, and then you just have one Democrat. The Democrat consolidates all the Democrats, and the top 2 vote getters get into a final. And if the top vote getter gets 50%, they win automatically. So in California, they have so many Democrats now running for governor and only 2 Republicans. It's the 2 Republicans are in the lead. You may actually see 2 Republicans go into the general election in California, and they have canceled a debate in California now because I think it was University of Southern California. I think it was USC. Don't hold me to that. They structured the debate so only the top 6 people in the polls would actually be on the debate stage. There are so many people running. Well, the top 6 people are all white. And the non-white candidates said it was racism, even though they're not polling well, so they canceled the debate. That's hilarious. You could use the Eden Pure Thunderstorm to clean the stench of the Katie Porter campaign out there and the Eric Swalwell campaign, perhaps. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm, you get 3 of them, and you save $200 at EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. Eden like the Garden of Eden. Pure is the driven snow. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code ERIC3. If they don't eliminate your odors, you get 3 of them, save $200. If they don't eliminate the odors you're concerned about, you can get your money back. See the site for details on their money-back guarantee. They also get rid of bacteria and viruses. They also get rid of pet dander, dust, pollen floating in the air. It is pollen season right now in my neck of the woods, and my black car is pretty much yellow. I've taken it to the car wash every single day. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm traps the pollen that gets in the house, and it's filterless. I don't have to have a filter subscription. It just works. I keep one in my travel bag. They're small enough to keep in my travel bag. EdenPureDeals.com is the website. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3, at EdenPureDeals.com. You save $200. You get 3 of them. They have a money-back guarantee. See the site for details, EdenPureDeals.com.